As the Human Rights Council is about to begin here in Geneva, our priorities are quite clear. Number one, and absolute priority, is the renewal of the mandate of a Special Rapporteur on Belarus. The UN has decided, after the violence that happened during the electoral cycle in 2010, to establish a special mandate focusing on monitoring the human rights situation in Belarus. And recent events, massive kind of arrests in March and April, just prove how vital it is that the UN continues to monitor the human rights situation in Belarus, continues to pay particular attention to that country, a country that is monitored by no other mechanism on its human rights record. There is no Council of Europe monitoring, there is no OSCE monitoring, so if the UN doesn't, nobody does. And here we can really see why the Human Rights Council is so important in this particular case. Priority number two, getting attention, getting traction, getting the international community to react to the situation in Azerbaijan. We have seen an unprecedented crackdown since 2014, basically. Leaders of civil society being arrested, having to flee the country to avoid politicized charges, and a civil society basically being disseminated. And at the same time, we have seen that too little attention has been paid on the human rights situation in Azerbaijan. When a country shuts down its civil society the way Azerbaijan has attempted to do over the last few years, that's when the Human Rights Council needs to look into a country situation. This is absolutely essential, that no country believes in the future that when you shut down your own civil society, you won't get onto the agenda of the Human Rights Council. Another key element for us will be the renewal of the mandate on human rights related to freedom of association and assembly. It is, again, a thematic mandate, this one, not a country mandate like Belarus, a thematic mandate monitoring the rights to freedom of association and assembly. And a new rapporteur will come in, succeeding to Maina Kiai. Maina Kiai is this rapporteur that was the first to hold this particular thematic mandate. He made some of these wonderful posters, has been out there being a voice for civil society in a period of shrinking space for civil society, and has been a spokesperson for so many of us working in human rights organizations. So now a new person will come in, and we really look forward to that, look forward to hear from what her priorities will be, look forward to engaging with her in this mandate, and we'll have a few other issues that will be coming up. The independence of judges and lawyers. We know how much lawyers have been more and more targeted when they do human rights work, when they take politicized cases, or when simply they are lawyers of human rights defenders themselves being in court, and that's an issue we're going to be bringing up. And obviously we're not forgetting about the human rights situation in Crimea, which will be on the agenda of the Human Rights Council, but that will just lead us towards the General Assembly continuing to discuss this autumn the human rights situation in Crimea, and hopefully really targeting the de facto authorities, really coming down to the very crucial human rights violations that we see in Crimea and addressing that. So a few priorities for this session ahead. We know we'll be very engaged and very present. We know what we'll be doing, and so many other human rights organizations will be focusing on other priorities during the whole Human Rights Council session. So a lot going on, and we'll be one part of that.